Southeast Queensland is now out of lockdown, but more than 5 million people in and around Sydney are still under stay-at-home orders. The pathway out of COVID lockdowns and border closures was spelled out by Prime Minister Scott Morrison yesterday. It all hinges on Australians getting vaccinated. But given our snail-paced rollout, it could be a long road ahead.
It's not a race, it's not a competition.
The Prime Minister promised Australians last year we would be at the front of the queue.
It's not a race. We don't want to see panic.
That was said again today. There you go.
What concerns me about Australia's performance, nationally, as a country,
it's the race that has stopped the nation.
They're off.
If the vaccine cup was real, it'd be Israel out of the gates hard. With sleeves rolled up, 60% of its residents are now fully vaccinated. Chile moving fast through the field, so too Iceland neck and neck. They've reached the halfway mark. The UK is looking to place with a steady run so far, and with a new jockey mid-race, the US has moved into sixth. Further back now in a group of European countries with vaccine rates between 36 and 26%. New Zealand sitting second last in this field of 38 developed nations, while Australia has barely left the gate, with fewer than 5% of our population fully vaccinated.
It's not a race, it's not a competition.
But for the rest of the world, it is, and this week's clusters caught many by surprise.
Australian officials are tightening coronavirus restrictions as new cases emerge around the country. Queensland and Western Australia are among the latest regions to impose stronger rules.
The new clusters have highlighted the nation's slow vaccine rollout amid hesitancy over AstraZeneca.
Borders are still closed. Residents are wondering how much longer these restrictions are going to last.
Dr. Annette Regan is an infectious disease epidemiologist. She worked for the West Australian Health Department and is now based in California at UCLA. She says Australia is a victim of its own success.
And I think a lot of us have been looking to Australia and thinking, how fantastic Australia has handled the, preventing the internal spread. We don't see the same sense of urgency to get vaccinated as other countries that have, seen family members get hospitalized, die of COVID. We see a lot more urgency in countries that have handled the pandemic more poorly.
After months of normality, crowds at the footy and beers at the pub, our infection curve was as flat as the Nullarbor, and our home is girt by borders. We were the envy of the world.
When Australia locked down, they really did. They got the level down very, very low.
Thank you, Australia. Thank you that you have put us in a situation that is the envy of most countries in the world today.
But the highly infectious Delta variant has slipped through, exposing the cracks in our rollout.
This was a largely avoidable and foreseeable crisis, but thanks to the very poor procurement and rollout of the vaccines, we don't have that strength to respond to the situation that's emerging.
In the US, 154 million Americans are fully vaccinated. Here, states are handing out lotto tickets with vaccines, and the jackpots are in the millions. You got a jab, you get a free donut every day at Krispy Kreme, free beer from Budweiser, and in Washington, D.C., legal marijuana was on offer, an incentive called Joints for Jabs. Sick of lockdowns, state governments and the business world are now doing everything they can to speed up the vaccine rollout. They know that this is a race between infections and injections, and they're hoping they're on the home straight.
I'm Morgan Freeman. I'm not a doctor.
Here, the power of celebrity was harnessed.
And I'm told that for some reason people trust me. So here I am to say, I trust science and I got the vaccine. If you trust me, you'll get the vaccine.
The Biden administration has the pedal to the floor, aiming for 100 million vaccines in its first 100 days. They more than doubled it. The White House has joined forces with Snapchat and dating apps like Tinder, where Joe Biden told younger Americans it's time to get the jab.
And what he's done, for example, is open up community vaccine centers, get vaccines to the pharmacies, develop mobile units to go out to get the people who are in poorly accessible areas, and got vaccinators. He got as many of them out into the field as he possibly could.
While in Australia, it's become all about mixed messages and vaccine hesitancy.
Can you understand why some Australians mightn't be holding their breath?
Yeah, yes, I can. Our government has never been short of ambition when it comes to what we've tried to achieve in responding to COVID-19. But I would readily endorse the view that we have had challenges with the vaccination program over these first 6 months.
Australia's death toll remains less than 1,000, a staggering success by global standards. Our country, so big, is so good at locking down, but experts say opening up is the hard part.
We've heard that phrase multiple times, none of us are protected until we're all protected. So the fact that we're seeing pockets of the world that have low immunization coverage, this is a global concern during this pandemic.
On the upside, though, the rate of vaccinations is rising, with 3.5 million doses in June and many more expected this month.